Welcome to the Father State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. I want to know, is it possible to have inner peace? My guest today is Lama Jigme Gyatso. Okay. My audience will want to know why you're sitting on a box and not on a chair.
Okay, several reasons. One, as a professional contemplative, who on a good day meditates and chants 6 to 8 hours a day, this is how I spend my life.
Oh, okay. I just found out that you're Jewish.
Yes.
So you are a Jew who is a liberal, controversial Buddhist monk. How did that happen to you?
That's a long story. I'm Lama Jigme, and you're not. When I see what happens to Black Americans at the hands of the police with very little, if any, accountability, it's horrific.
But you see it an illusion. I want to ask you this.
A rabbi once said,
let me say this.
Never again is not just for the Jews, it's for all beings.
Well, let me say this to you. Black Lives Matter is lying to you. Blacks are suffering due to the destruction of the family and the lack of moral character. It has nothing to do with racism. Racism is made up to control black people by keeping them angry at the white man and then to intimidate white people in order to get power and wealth. There's no such thing as racism. Blacks are suffering due to the lack of moral character.
How are you going to prove there's no such thing as racism? How are you going to prove that negative?
It's because if you look at it, it's easy to prove that there's
By the way, I'm having trouble supporting my back right now because of the injury, so I'm going like this right now. Not because I'm trying to be aggressive, but because I'm trying not to fall over.
So this is what I want to ask. Since you believe this lie, is it possible that everything else you believe is wrong?
As a white-ish, because a lot of people don't consider Jews white, but as a white-ish guy, I've seen cops treat me than other folk differently.
Because you followed the orders of the cop. You didn't give them a rough time. You were not a criminal. You didn't have a record, right?
No record.
You had your driver's license and car insurance, right?
But the thing is, from my own experience...
So is it possible that all these other things that you believe, could that be a lie? Because you truly believed into a lie about racism.
There's a vast difference between a possibility and a probability. We were told that ceramic was an insulator. And then in the 80s we learned that not only is it a conductor, it's a superconductor.
So you're going to find out one day you're wrong about a whole bunch of other things. You have back pain right now, right?
I do.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
My message is, well, this is the first time that I've viewed your show.
Well, welcome.
am somewhat appalled by your messages. Seems that you have a lot of followers, and I'm sure that most of them are not African Americans.
Why are you sure about that?
Well, basically, sir, I did a little research on your website. I didn't have to. I'm so angry at this point. As an African American man,
I'm not African American. I'm black.
Okay, whatever. You're black. You're a black man. And, sir, you sound, I don't know what your level of education is. I'm stumbling with my words because
I barely made it through high school.
Okay, well, that's obvious. I can see because, and as, I'm not trying to be.
What am I saying that's not true?
If you stop
what am I saying that's not true?
That's your opinion. If
no,
you
what
stop
am I saying that's not
your
true?
listeners, if you'll give a person a chance to speak, because every caller that calls in, you didn't allow them to. You cut in as you're doing now.
What am I saying that's not true?
We have Trump who's in office now. I'm assuming that you're Trump promoter, that you actually promote the other things that he's doing.
I call him the Great White Hope.
Black men like yourself have a platform where they can help people as a whole, not just blacks, bring some type of unity.
So what's
you're
your
bringing
question?
division because your words are so shockingly, just basically, you're just angry at the black man. That's what it seems like, at the black people as a whole. What is your message? Are you there? You sound very illiterate because you
I am.
speak as though. Well, then You shouldn't be on the platform that you're at.
Why not?
I'm so angry. My words are stumped because you make no sense, because you're giving nothing but more prejudice and hate. That's what you're spreading. That's what you're bringing is diversity. You're bringing, not diversity, division, excuse me.
No, we're
what are you
already
saying to
divided.
empower people? What are your recommendations to empower people who are in that situation that you're saying, that the blacks are thugs and this and that? What about the white thugs?
Okay, let me respond. Calm down.
Please do.
What you might not realize is that prior to the civil rights movement, over 60 years ago now, they was less than 10% of black children born out of wedlock. Black people were working hard. They owned land. They didn't have black leaders using them and blaming them in order to gain power and wealth for themselves. For the most part, black Americans believed in God. When I was growing up, they believed in God. And this was under the Jim Crow law and all those things. And once the civil rights movement started, Martin Luther King wanted black people to stay in the condition of love and don't hate, and be moral and upright people so they can be judged by the context of character and not color. But once he was assassinated, the race hustlers like John Lewis and Jesse Jackson and the rest of the so-called civil rights leaders, they took a message of love and turned it into hate so that they can control black people. And the government became the daddy under Lyndon B. Johnson. And so the Democratic Party gathered the black people and said, hey, come live with us. We're going to take care of you. You can't make it because of racism. You don't need to get married. We'll take care of your children for you. And black people fell away from God, and it's been downhill for them ever since.
You can have a good day, because I was going to say some very bad words and kiss my black ass.
Oh, see, I told you. This is coming out of the single-parent homes, and even those homes where black fathers are not in control. She said, kiss my black A.
I've got a lot of family here, some of whom are here in the audience tonight. I also had my first abortion at the Seattle Planned Parenthood. Yay! Notice I said first. If I could Yelp review it, I totally would.
Yes, I had abortion in Seattle. Abortion is still one of the most divisive issues in America today. I have with me Dr. Willie Parker, an OBGYN specializing in abortions. He's also the author of Life's Work, A Moral Argument for Choice. Dr. Parker has been featured in Esquire, NPR, New York Times, Rolling Stone, Newsweek, and more. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
What made you decide, you know what, I'm going to do abortions?
Somebody once said when you wrestle with your conscience and you lose, you actually win. The reality is that 1 in 3 women in this country by the time they're age 45 will have an abortion.
Amazing.
And it's the most common health care procedure that is offered. It's also one of the safest, but it's also one of the most controversial because it is a decision that is unique to women. My awareness as a physician of what happens to women when that care is not available convicted me around what it meant to be a woman's health care provider and to be a Christian, which ultimately led me to conclude that there was nothing doctrinally or specific about abortion in sacred texts, whichever one you're talking about, nor was there anything that prohibited women from having control over their lives and their bodies to make the same decisions that men are entitled to make as moral agents.
That's amazing. How is abortion a health care procedure?
So when a woman has a pregnancy that affects her health or that she decides to end, if she doesn't have an opportunity to end it safely, anything that risks or ends that poses a risk to your health is a healthcare issue.
I mean, it's a healthcare issue for the baby, the unborn child, in that you're killing the baby.
Baby is a cultural term, it's not a scientific or medical term, and you're not a baby before you're born. Because of our laws, you're not entitled to block a woman from having an abortion, or you're not entitled to force a woman to agree with your
definition. Aren't you taking a life?
I disagree with you. I understand what you're saying.
You are killing an unborn child, right?
I'm not killing an unborn child.
You're taking
I'm
the life of
pregnancy.
an unborn child.
I'm ending a pregnancy.
But does that require you to take the life of the child that's in the woman's womb?
I don't define a pregnancy as a child, and like I
Does
said,
it have a life? Is it a living?
it is a living entity. It is a
Right.
life. It
So
is
you
a human being because women don't have puppies,
So-
but it is not a baby. And if it were a baby, it would be a person. Correct.
So the reality
let me finish.
So the reality is you are taking a life.
So
is that true or not?
do you want to have a dialogue,
Yeah,
or
but-
do you want to let me answer your question, or do you want to answer my question?
Answer the question about are you taking a life?
Okay. Yes, an abortion ends a life. If you call the police, will they come and arrest me?
That still doesn't take away the fact that you're taking a life. Is it
That's how
possible
I
you could
believe.
be wrong now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Is it possible that you could be wrong?
No.
You can't imagine how you can possibly be wrong, and I question myself all the time. Voltaire
I
said
would if
that.
I were you.
I-
Let me do this.
Have you ever changed your mind about anything?
I have.
Okay.
That's why I'm glad that you're at least thinking about the way you feel about Christianity and abortion now and sin and all that, because you are wrong, and by you thinking about it, maybe you get back on the right track.
This isn't about, you didn't invite me. I'm here I came here at your invitation without knowing anything about who you are and what your agenda is. And I didn't come here to have you openly scrutinize what you think my moral compass is. If you want to talk about abortion, if you want to talk about the right of women, if you don't want to talk about that, we can end the interview, and I'm happy to have had this
ask this and
opportunity.
then we'll move on. Do you believe that there's good and evil?
I absolutely do.
You do, okay. And is it good to perform abortions or evil?
It's good to perform abortions when women seek them and they need them and they ask me to do it and I'm trained to do it and I provide it for them. Yes, it is
Is it
good to
good
provide
for the
women.
unborn child?
I don't know what an unborn child is. I know what a fetus is. I know what when you give birth,
Is
you
it
become a
good
child.
or evil for
I know
the
how
fetus?
to end a person.
Is it good or evil for the fetus?
I don't relate to life in terms of absolute good and evil. So
Do you believe that there's good and evil?
I absolutely do.
You do, okay.
I don't relate to life in terms of absolute good and evil. So
Does it bother you that it might be evil to the fetus?
it doesn't bother me at all because
Amazing.
a fetus can't be more important than the woman carrying it.
Get back to this. That's ridiculous.
Right. Okay. It's ridiculous because you don't agree with it, and that's fine. If that's your
what do you-
metric,
do you-
everything I might say might be ridiculous to you because maybe it's perplexing to you that people think for themselves.
No, it's not perplexing.
But it is
And you're not
because-
thinking for yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm not thinking the way you think
You
I
are
would think.
not thinking for
okay,
yourself.
Well, I'll accept
One
that.
thing I know for sure,
Okay.
and without a doubt,
Uh-huh.
there's some things I'm not sure about, but the one thing I am sure about,
Uh-huh.
you're not thinking for yourself.
Okay. Mhm.
How many abortions have you performed in your career?
As many as necessary.
And how many is that?
What difference does it make if it's 1,000 or 100,000?
Well, you don't think that would make a difference?
Okay. What difference does it make?
Oh, let me ask, how many months do you do it at the ninth month if the woman wanted?
No, that's not legal.
Where do
and
you, if it was legal, would you do it?
Well, I don't answer hypotheticals because to talk about an unborn pregnancy as a baby is very inflammatory. Stages of development matter. If you say that a baby and a fetus are the same, it's like saying also an oak tree and an acorn are the same. Is it the same if you step on an acorn as you chop down a 100-year-old oak tree? It is not. And that's why
First
as
of all,
a
you
trained
can't
physician,
compare an acorn to a baby,
well,
a human being.
don't get lost in the analogy. That the
But
ability
that's
to
not
think
very,
in acrylic.
that's not very nice. So I want to know, once you pull this baby out of the womb,
I don't
after
pull
you
babies out of the womb.
after you kill the baby inside the
I
womb,
don't kill babies.
and you suck it out, however you get it
I
out.
remove pregnancies by standard medical techniques.
And when you
when
see-
at 88, at 12 weeks, that is a suction procedure.
And when you
Now, do
see
you wanna
that
talk
child, yes, when you see that child, does it bother you at all?
It doesn't bother me at all to end a pregnancy that a woman doesn't want because the woman who comes to me is my patient.
The woman that's killing it, having her child killed in her womb, does she give that child life?
Nobody gives anybody life. Life is a
what-
process. We
So
all
she-
participate in the process of reproduction.
So she doesn't give life. What gives her the right to take a life?
Okay, nobody gave her life. She can't give life. We all are
So
here.
what gives her the right to take a life?
Well, you know,
So
Is there any process, if you wanted to have your gallbladder taken out, would anybody question you? Do you have to get anybody's permission to have anything done in your body?
A gallbladder and a baby is not the same.
Well, a gallbladder is in your body and a fetus is in her body.
I'm making the choice about the gallbladder, or the gallbladder has some problems in making the choice.
And women do the same thing about pregnancies.
A woman who kills her children on the inside is making a decision about another human being's life.
I'm not gonna argue with you. If you want to have I've never walked out of an interview, but if you want to have a meaningful conversation, ask me some meaningful questions. Otherwise, this interview is over.
But I thought the whole conversation had been meaningful so far.
No, because I haven't really. You haven't asked. You have asked me questions that prompted me to answer in a certain way, and then you've offered your critique. Everything has been about what your impression of about who I am and what I do.
You asked me.
Right, I ask you because I'm still trying to figure out what the point of this is. Okay, I don't complain because I have the power of exit. I can walk out here any moment that I want.
Let me ask.
I'm indulging you.
You are the physician plaintiff in a federal lawsuit preventing the closing of a Mississippi-only abortion clinic.
Correct.
Is that true? You know, I went down to Mississippi and protested that clinic. We've been fighting to get that clinic closed for a long time.
That's important. That's unfortunate.
It's going to happen.
Because you are indifferent to what that means to the women, right?
I'm sorry?
There are actually 7 states where there's only one clinic. You're going to go to each state to protest where there's one clinic left?
Don't give me an idea. Should the father have a say-so about his child?
Should the father have the say-so over a process that's going on in a woman's body? No.
Is that his child in the woman's body?
A pregnancy, when a woman is carrying a pregnancy, whoever she decides the paternity is related to, and if they have the kind of relationship where she wants to have that child, a woman doesn't have to relinquish control of her body to anyone.
Is that his child inside of her body?
I guess it depends on what state you're in, right?
Is that his child inside the woman's body?
Yeah, no, because a woman doesn't have property.
You didn't really say no.
No, it's not his child. It's if they continue that pregnancy and give
how
birth,
is it her
it's
child
their
then?
child, right?
How is it her child?
When she gives birth. Well, as I said to you, when
you really said no, it's not his child.
It's not as a property as he has some claim.
You put all that extra stuff onto it.
Okay.
You just said no, it's not his child.
It's not his child. It's their child.
Whose child is it?
It's their child if they have a joint enterprise, right?
Should he have a say-so in that?
Not unless he can take all the risks that go with continuing a pregnancy. No.
It's amazing, man.
Okay. Yeah, that can be amazing when you hear that other people can think too.
So you believe you're thinking? Does it bother you that every day between 1,200 to 1,500 black babies are aborted every day?
It doesn't, because
I don't abort
babies. No, it doesn't.
So as a doctor, did you make more money before you start performing abortions or after you started
What
to
difference would it
perform
make?
abortion?
I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist.
Do you make more money?
What's your point?
Do you make more money? Did you start making more money before you started to perform
I make
abortion?
more money
after?
I make more money. I make less money than I could make. I make enough money to take care of myself. But what difference does it make?
Did you start making more money after you started to perform abortion?
What difference does it make how much money I make?
It's important because that might be your motivation.
Well, whatever my motivation is, if I get paid for the services I provide, I'm entitled to get paid.
So when did you start making more money? Making money
why
before
does that matter?
After?
I'm a private citizen. I don't have to answer to you about what my finances are.
How
much money do you make?
I didn't ask you how much. I asked you when did you when did you start making more money? After you started performing abortions or after?
Tell me how much you make and I'll tell you. If you tell me how much you make and then I can tell you, because I know what I was making before and after. If you tell me how much you make, I can tell you I was making more money than you do before or after. So that's my answer to you.
Let me ask, what is a man?
What is it?
Yeah, what is a man?
What is a man?
You don't know?
Do you?
Do you know what a man is?
Are you one?
Do you know what a man is?
Are you a man?
Is that your response to me?
Are you a man?
So that's your response to me?
I'm asking you. You answer me and then I'll answer you.
No, I'm asking you what is a man?
Are you a man?
So what is love?
What is a man?
What is love?
What is it?
What are you doing? You're not going to answer the question.
I'll answer your
you're
question.
You're the expert. You're the doctor. You're supposed to be answering these questions.
Well, if
what
you
is
tell
a
me
man?
what you tell me what a man is, and then I can tell you whether I believe that a man is what you think it is or whether it's not.
Do you know what it is?
I do.
What is it?
What is tell me your definition. I'll tell you if I agree with you.
You're not going to answer that because we're running out of time and you're wasting my time. So you don't know what a man is?
I do.
What is a man?
What kind of test is this? What is a man? What is a man?
Apparently you don't know what a man is. So let me ask.
Okay.
Do you love black people?
I love all people.
And what is love?
What is love?
Are you not going to answer that either?
Well, see, you're asking me rhetorical questions, and I'm returning your rhetorical question, and then you don't like a rhetorical question, but you want me to answer one.
Do you love the unborn child?
I love people.
How about the unborn child?
Unborn children aren't people. I don't know what an unborn child is. I know what a fetus is. I know what a pregnancy is, but I don't know what.
Do you love the fetus?
I love women and their pregnancies. If a woman's carrying a fetus and she wants to continue, I love and will support her ability to support that. If a woman's pregnant and is carrying a fetus and she no longer wishes to carry that pregnancy, I love her enough to help her accomplish her goal safely.
Amazing. This past June.
But let me ask you a question. How can you say you love a pregnancy more than you love the woman carrying it?
I love both.
Okay, so when it's not in the best interest of a woman to continue a pregnancy, how can you prioritize the fetus over the woman who's carrying the pregnancy?
Because the child should have a chance to live
What about
as well.
what about a female child who's carrying a child? Does a woman have a right to thrive?
She has a right, and so does the unborn child.
Okay, and so when those interests are competing, whose interests
They're
are
not
important?
competing.
Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor?
Only in the ego mind of the selfish woman that want to kill the child.
So a woman,
you don't have to be a doctor to know that, man.
You don't
This past June, you were interviewed as part of a Shout Your Abortion event in Seattle. What is Shout Your Abortion?
Shout Your Abortion is an effort by women to reject the stigma and shame that people who feel like they are able to tell women what to do with their bodies, and that because they can't physically prohibit them, that they try and shame them away from making their own decisions. They've decided to not stand in the shadows, just like gay people have decided not to hide their being gay anymore.
And so they're trying to take the shame out of killing the unborn child.
Well, you can frame it however you want.
I was down at a slut walk down in
Okay.
Los Angeles last Sunday, and they're trying to take the shame out of being sluts.
Okay. Well,
Why do
yeah.
they want to take the shame out
they
of
want
it?
to take they want to take the shame out of being sluts the same way people try to take the sting out of folk calling them niggers, right?
Amazing.
Amazing. What's so amazing about people when people call you names beyond your when people call you names that are intended to disparage or to embarrass or to harm you? When you can't change your name, maybe you can change the meaning of the word. And so maybe they are trying to use
calling you a name and having an abortion or being want to be perceived as a slut is not the same thing. But I saw a video of you there, and you were on stage with an actress by the name of Martha Plimpton, and she was cheering on, yes, I had an abortion in Seattle.
Yep.
And you're not the only place I've had this abortion.
Yep.
And she said she wanted to Yelp review of her abortion. What was going through your mind?
She's a comedian, and
when
she
this
was
woman was sitting there celebrating killing her unborn children?
What was going through my mind was she was telling people who think like you that I don't really care what you think of me. And then the same way that black people had to tell white people when they called us niggers and they said that, you know, somebody with your color skin can't become a physician. She was telling them, I don't really care what you think about me. And I support anybody who finds enough self-dignity and self-love to say to folk who judge and to stigmatize and to shame them that I don't really care what you think about me.
You're judging the people who disagree with you about what you're doing.
No, I don't
Yes,
judge.
you are. You're judging them.
Well, no.
Well, yes.
I came on your show in good faith. I didn't Google you. I don't know anything about you. I walked into a situation where I didn't know that you were going to be hostile, or I thought this was going to be.
I'm not being hostile.
I thought this was going to be.
You don't want to hostile.
Well, no, I'm being
threatening to leave and carry on.
Well, the reason I threatened to leave because
hostile.
I threatened to leave because I don't have to
hostile.
be.
Let me ask. You received that Margaret Sanger Award from Planned Parenthood. Is that
I
right?
did.
Amazing.
What's amazing about that?
Because Planned Parenthood is wicked to the core.
Okay.
They sold the unborn child body parts for profit. Are you okay with that?
It's a shame that you are sitting here.
Are you okay with that?
Repeating falsehoods. I'm not respectfully. I'm not calling you a liar, but you're repeating lies. You're repeating lies. Everything about those videos that were workshopped and created have been debunked. The people who made them are about to go to jail, and somehow you, as a journalist and as a published author, I would give you
been debunked. That's not true. Tell the truth, man.
Well, it's been debunked.
You're not telling the truth. That's why you're looking down at the floor.
Well, I'm looking down because I'm thinking,
because you don't want me to see you're not telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth. I can look you in the eye.
That has not been debunked.
Yeah. Well. How many Planned Parenthoods have been closed?
No, why are you saying that it is not true?
I'm saying that not one Planned Parenthood has been closed, despite all of the government scrutiny where they went in and checked and looked for everything. Not one Planned Parenthood has been closed. Not one person's been indicted. Not one person's gone to jail.
Do you consider yourself a feminist?
Yes, I'm a feminist.
No wonder you didn't know what a man was. That is a shame, man. So my final question for you.
Yes, sir.
Did you have fun?
You rattled my case, but I believe in honest disagreement, and even though it got tense, I enjoyed the dialogue. Well.
So show us Charlie Chapman again. Yeah. Charlie. Okay. Travis, come here. Come into the studio. I want the people to see your mustache. He cut it that way. It wasn't that way when we hired him. He came in as a white man, and then he left and came back as Hitler. Let's see your mustache. Have a seat there. And so show Charlie Chapman. Are you able to show them side by side?
No.
Look at me.
I got a thicker mustache.
So look. So see Travis' mustache, Charlie Chapman, and Hitler. Now show Charlie.
All right.
See? You see it? And Charlie, that's you.
Is this what you needed?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can I go?
You can go now.
All right, thank you.
New tonight, resign. That's the message from one woman when she came face to face with embattled EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt at a Washington, D.C. restaurant. The confrontation, something to watch while she's holding her 2-year-old son in her arms.
I just wanted to urge you to resign because of what you're doing to the environment in our country. This is my son. He loves animals. He loves clean air. He loves clean water. We deserve to have somebody at the EPA who actually does protect our environment, somebody who believes in climate change and takes it seriously for the benefit of all of us, including our children. So I would urge you to resign before your scandals push you out.
Get out of my face. Can't you see I'm eating, you nasty, dirty, evil woman?
I think probably maybe having my child there with me gave me a little extra push because this is the man who is literally undermining my child's future, the future of all of our children, the next generation. He is actively sacrificing our clean air, our clean water to line his own pockets and the pockets of his friends. And this was my opportunity to call him out on it. At first, I think maybe he thought I was a super fan of some sort or something. And then, of course, I suggested that he resign, and the smile faded pretty quickly. He seemed annoyed at that point. And then when I started listing off some of his scandals, that's when his demeanor changed and he definitely stiffened up, and he looked kind of angry, defensive, uncomfortable, as he should. It's pretty embarrassing what he's doing.
Who in the world, what man took a risk and had sex with a woman like that? I would never even have sex with this woman. She's crazy. Ain't no telling what will happen once you finish. A nasty, dirty woman of Satan. James says she's polluted his world. My producer said that. A nasty woman. And these are the type of people that want to run our great country. Hateful, dirty men and women, children of the lie. When Obama, the father Messiah, was in the White House, You were not even allowed to disagree with all his lies and destruction. If you were white, you were called racist. Remember that? Even Oprah said, oh, white people just have to die. Amazing stuff. Stay away from emotion. Stay logical. Logical. And you can defeat these children of the lie. Maxine Waters is 80 years old today. How come witches live longer? Oh, because they suck the life out of everybody.